Let me start with a question that might feel slightly uncomfortable. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your financial stress actually disappear? Or would your lifestyle simply expand to match it? Because for many people in the United States and across Europe, the issue isn't that they don't earn enough, it's that their lifestyle quietly absorbs everything they earn and then asks for more. This isn't about laziness, it's not about intelligence, and it's definitely not about working harder. It's about design. Let's look at a familiar scenario. Imagine someone in their early 30s. They live in a major US city like Chicago or Dallas, or somewhere in the UK like Manchester, or maybe Berlin or Amsterdam. They're educated, employed, responsible. They earn $85,000 per year in the US, or 60,000 euros in Europe. After taxes, healthcare contributions, and pension deductions, their take-home pay might look like this. In the US, around $5,000 per month. In Europe, maybe 3,200 to 3,800 euros depending on the country. Now let's subtract real life. Rent or mortgage, $1,800. Car payment, $550. Car insurance and fuel, $300. Student loan payment, $400. Groceries, $500. Utilities and internet, $250. Phone, $90. Subscriptions, $60. Dining out and social life, $600. Travel fund or random spending, $400. We're already at roughly $4,950, and we haven't even talked about emergencies or investing or helping family or medical costs. On paper, this is a good income. In reality, it feels tight, not because the income is low, but because the lifestyle is expensive. Here's the uncomfortable part. None of these expenses look irresponsible. There's no gambling problem, no luxury yacht, no designer wardrobe obsession. It's just normal life. A decent apartment, a reliable car, a few dinners out, a vacation once a year. But when normal costs almost everything you earn, you're not building wealth, you're maintaining an image of stability. And that's the difference. Now, let's zoom in on one small example. The car. In many parts of the US, a car isn't optional. In Europe, maybe it is, but status still plays a role. Let's say the car costs $35,000. With financing, you're paying $550 per month for 5 years. That's $33,000 in payments. Add insurance and fuel, maybe another $600 per month total ownership cost. So over 5 years, that car might cost around $45,000 to $50,000. Now imagine instead you bought a reliable used car for $15,000 in cash. You avoid the monthly payment. You avoid interest. You reduce insurance costs. The difference might be $400 per month. Invest $400 per month at a modest 7% annual return for 30 years. That becomes roughly $450,000, $500,000 from one lifestyle decision. This isn't extreme math, it's simple compounding, but we rarely see it that way. We see a monthly payment, not a long-term trade-off. And that's the core of the lifestyle problem. Modern consumer systems train us to think monthly. Can you afford $550 per month? Can you afford $90 per month? Can you afford $18 per month? Almost everything is framed as a subscription, even your life. But wealth isn't built monthly. It's built through margin, the gap between what you earn and what you commit to. When that gap disappears, your future disappears with it. Now let's talk about psychology. Why do smart, educated people fall into this pattern? Because lifestyle is social. Income is private. Your neighbors don't know how much you invest, but they can see your car. Your coworkers don't know your savings rate, but they notice your vacations. Humans evolved in small tribes where status meant survival. Today, status means upgraded kitchens and newer SUVs. The instinct is the same. We want to signal competence, stability, success. So when your income rises, your lifestyle rises with it. You move to a better neighborhood, upgrade the car, travel more comfortably, spend slightly more on everything. It feels deserved, and maybe it is. But here's the catch. Lifestyle upgrades are permanent. Income increases are not guaranteed. Layoffs happen. Recessions happen, health issues happen. When your fixed costs rise to match your best income year, you become fragile, financially fragile. Now imagine two people earning the same salary. Person A spends 95% of their income. Person B spends 70%. To the outside world, Person A looks more successful. Better apartment, nicer car, more visible lifestyle. But Person B is building ownership. Ownership of investments, ownership of time, ownership of choices. In 10 years, Person A is still dependent on their next paycheck. Person B has options. Not because they earned dramatically more, but because they refused to let lifestyle consume everything. Let's go further. Suppose someone earning $90,000 saves just 5% of their income. That's $4,500 per year. Invested at 7% for 30 years, that becomes about $425,000. Now increase savings to 20%. That's $18,000 per year. After 30 years at 7%, that becomes roughly $1.7 million. Same salary, different lifestyle design. The difference isn't intelligence, it's tolerance. Tolerance for not upgrading immediately. Tolerance for driving something unimpressive. Tolerance for not competing socially. Financial intelligence is often just social indifference. Here's something else most people don't notice. Lifestyle inflation doesn't feel like inflation. It feels like progress. You tell yourself, I worked hard for this. I deserve better. Everyone else at my level lives like this. And maybe they do. But most people at your level are also stressed, carrying credit card balances, extending student loans, refinancing homes, leasing cars repeatedly. The system encourages it because consumption drives growth. Banks profit from interest. Brands profit from upgrades. Governments benefit from spending. But your personal financial system doesn't benefit from debt-fueled lifestyle expansion. It becomes dependent on continuous income. That's the hidden flaw. Not low salary, high commitment. Now imagine a different approach. Not extreme frugality, not living like a monk, just deliberate stability. When income increases, expenses increase slowly or not at all. You upgrade intentionally, not automatically. You measure wealth by net worth, investment income, months of expenses covered, not by visible assets. The financially intelligent person asks a different question. Not, can I afford this monthly payment, but what does this cost me in freedom? That single mental shift changes everything. Because real wealth isn't about having more things, it's about having more control. Control over your time, control over your stress, control over your response to economic shocks. When your lifestyle requires your full income to survive, you have no control. When your lifestyle requires only a portion, you have power. That's the difference. So if you feel stuck despite earning well, it may not be a money problem. It may be a lifestyle calibration problem, a gap between what you earn and what you've committed to maintain. And the solution isn't dramatic, it's quiet. It's reducing automatic upgrades, questioning recurring expenses, understanding long-term math before short-term comfort, Not to feel deprived, but to design stability. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your income. The issue is unconscious expansion, because once your lifestyle locks in, reversing it feels like failure. So most people never adjust. They just keep earning and spending and maintaining for decades, and then wonder why freedom feels distant. You don't need a higher salary to begin fixing this. You need awareness. Awareness of how small recurring commitments compound. Awareness of how social pressure influences spending. Awareness that real wealth is usually invisible. No hype, no extreme measures, just math and psychology. And once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. If this perspective helped you think differently about money, you can subscribe for more calm, rational conversations about personal finance. Nothing dramatic, just clarity.